All aboard!
Hello everybody! Welcome back to Nintendo Hype Train. It's been a long time since I've done one of these at all. And you know what? It's about time we talked about Star Fox Zero. So, this game was announced, at least that it was in progress a while before its official announcement at E3, just this past year at E3 2015. And it was announced along with actually the game that I featured in the last Nintendo Hype Train, Metroid Prime, Federation Force, and Blast Ball. I'm still excited about those, so don't go thinking that I've lost my hype about them. They're definitely not the same as normal Metroid Prime games, but there's a lot of things that I like that Metroid Prime kind of didn't do that they're doing. But whatever, this is not about Metroid Prime Federation Force and Blast Ball. This is about Star Fox Zero. So, Star Fox Zero, I should start off with, is a new reboot. It's not a new sequel. It's not part of the Assault series and all that. It's not part of like the N64 one and its 3DS remake. It is its own new game. It is completely new. The story's different this time. Everything is, rebooted. It's obvious it draws heavy inspiration from the SNES title and the N64 title, but it is, it's still very, new feeling. From what I've heard, the controls are a bit different. I mean, the gamepad usage especially makes some of that different. Where like you aim with the gamepad rather than just on the main screen, which adds an interesting element where you have to kind of use both to your advantage. Honestly, I'm excited because I didn't really play Star Fox 64 on the N64, but I did play Star Fox 64. I played the demo that was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I played the 3DS remastering of the game. It really, I guess it was a remake, and that was definitely fun. I like Star Fox games. I was bad at the SNES one, but I played a lot of Assault. Assault was the one I played the most. That was really how I fell in love with a lot of the mechanics, and so seeing a new reboot and kind of this new iteration of the Star Fox franchise has me quite a bit I guess excited about that feature, that new stuff. I want to find out what's new. I want to see all the planets and how they've been revamped, because a lot of them are returning from earlier in the series, like Corneria. Macbeth is probably in there. Actually, I think it is. Pretty sure I saw it somewhere. I know Ficina's in there, for sure. I don't think they've ever had a title without Ficina in it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there, and I'm going to be excited to kind of be able to compare and contrast with like the past titles that I've played, how it looks, how it feels, and all that. One of the biggest things about Star Fox is the vehicles. I mean, there's the R-Wings, there's the Landmasters, and now there's the Gyro Wing. And to add a bit of extra spice to all that, I mean, I guess it's a bit of extra spice. There's transformations for some of them. Like the R-Wing, like everybody knows the R-Wing, it's the classic Star Fox, ship. And it flies around, and it's like basically a fighter jet of sorts. You focus on fighting things with the blasters and their charge shots, as well as any bombs you find along the way, and then you can deploy those smart bombs. But they kind of drew some inspiration from Star Fox 2, and that was, the transformation, as I mentioned earlier. Star Fox 2 was cancelled on the SNES, and it looked really cool. It was, you know, Star Fox, but the way they spiced it up to make things new was to add a walker to the R-Wing, where you would just, you know, be walking around. It was kind of simple looking, as all the things were with the SNES Star Fox titles, but it was still 3D, and so it was still super cool at that time. But when the game was cancelled, the N64 one came out without any walkers. There was no transformation whatsoever. But that was, I believe, when they introduced the Landmaster. And that was kind of like, oh, well, they got rid of the walker, but they replaced it with a tank. But now the walker's back, and there's still the Landmaster. So that's kind of a cool thing, because basically the walker acts as, like, I guess the faster, weaker, like, lower power. I mean, it's not a tank, it's like a giant mech suit of sorts that's running around and shooting things. And that's, you know, completely different than what the Landmaster is. I mean, you can also use the R-Wing's walker transformation in certain areas of the space battles and all that, where, like, you can transform and you can, like, run across, like, the wing of, like, I don't know, like a ship that's nearby you can run across. Yeah, you know, you can run across debris, a wing of, like, your ship. I can't remember its name right now, but you can run across the wing of that. I know that's actually doable, because they showed that actually in some footage, and that was really cool. But you know, you could be now. I guess the main question is, what's so special about the Landmaster now that you have the walker? Well, the Landmaster has its own transformation. It has the Gravmaster, and the Gravmaster is like a slower version of the R-Wing of sorts. It hovers off the ground and it flies around, doing what the Landmaster does, being a tank. But now it's a tank in the air, so it's much slower than the R-Wing is. But it also it's heavier duty. It's gonna fly and just blow things up. I mean, that's what it does, and that's kind of exciting. We haven't seen it used in space at all. I doubt it will be. But it is cool to kind of see how it's used, and you know, and to see that the Landmaster still remains relevant with the walker. And so having the Gravmaster, I think, is just a cool touch. And I think it's a cool looking transformation too. Beyond that, though, there's still the Gyro Wing, and the Gyro Wing is like the stealth helicopter of sorts, that's used for, like, you know, stealthier missions. I don't remember what planet it was used on. It might have been Macbeth. I'm not sure, but it was when they showed it in use, it was kind of like going through a compound, and then there was kind of like dodging these spotlights and stuff like that. But rather than having a transformation to sort of switch it to like a ground vehicle or something like that, because the R-Wing already did that, why would you do that with the Gyro Wing too? So instead of having an actual transformation, the Gyro Wing has this little mini droid thing that looks kind of like the Star Fox Guard, or Project Guard as it was called at the time. It looks like they're robots from that, because it is. Star Fox Guard being the new version of, you know, Project Guard, the official final release version. And so the Direct Eye is one of those little robots, but he's on a little cable, and he goes down and goes into like little tunnels to unlock doors, open things. He can carry bombs, as they show in one of the scenes that they showed in one of the trailers. I think it was the trailer focusing on vehicles. And so that's kind of a cool touch, where the Gyro Wing is kind of the stealth tool, but also can be used kind of like cargo hauling and you know, bombing runs of sort, or of a sort. So I mean, that's kind of it's kind of neat. It's kind of a special feature that, you know, we haven't really had a chance to have fun with in Star Fox yet. So I'm really excited to get to try out the gyro wing and the direct eye and all that. Now, one of the biggest things a lot of people complain about around E3 was the graphics. I never thought the graphics were all that bad, but a lot of people had issues with them. And, you know, honestly, I think that the graphics, from everything I've seen more recently in the newer builds of the game, they're pretty decent. The graphics aren't half bad. I don't know, I think that they're, like, nice for the Wii U. I mean, compared to, like, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, of course, they're not going to compare PC, you know. But, I mean, the graphics really aren't all that bad. Now, they're not on levels of, like, Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon. But I'd say that they're probably about Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. They're in the decent range. They're not the best on Wii U, but they're pretty decent. They don't look bad. Honestly, one of the things that I found like the most hypnotically awesome graphically are big explosions. I know that one of the explosions is visible with the defeat of the Aqua Rosa boss, which is on Corneria. And when it explodes, there's just this, like, it's really simple. It's like a flat texture, you can tell, but they distort it in ways that almost make it look like this bubbling, you know, rolling fireball. And I thought that it looked really cool. It was a really simple fix to a simple just image to make it look, you know, like one of the best looking explosions I've seen in a while. And the thing is, it doesn't look real. It does not look realistic in any way. I've seen a lot of realistic explosions in video games, but this is not one of them. It just looks really cool. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I think the way they worked that in is just awesome. It's a neat concept, a neat way to, you know, show big explosions, and I'm excited to see all the big explosions now because of it. So yeah, I mean, the graphics really aren't all that bad. And also one of the cool touches is, in the past titles, you could have your R-Wing be damaged. You could lose a wing and stuff like that. Well, Star Fox Zero takes that to a whole new level where there's actual visible damage to the R-Wing as its health goes down. Chunks of, like, the hull just go missing. And there's, like, some mechanics showing, and that's a nice touch, actually. It's, you know, it's not even just the texture shifts, unless it's a really good bump map. I'm pretty sure that it actually rips off a chunk of the model, rather than just, you know, adjusting the texture as you get damaged. But, you know, beyond graphics, you gotta focus on story. Story is one of the big things, you know, Nintendo's known for. And Star Fox Zero's story might be a bit disappointing to some people because it's very similar to, you know, past iterations of it. You know, you got Andross as the big bad guy. You got Star Wolf as, you know, a recurring enemy throughout the game. I mean, that happens. But honestly, I'm excited to see, you know, what they do with their branching paths, because Star Fox is known to have branching paths. So that might break up some of the linearity of the story. It's still going to be linear, but it might have, you know, different endings, different, you know, twists and turns that might affect the story a bit more than they did in past titles. Now, one of the more interesting things is, because every Star Fox game's had branching paths, but now there's these weird, like, reddish purple portals that are showing up that are like distortions in space and time and rifts and all that, and it seems that they're used to kind of branch the paths a bit. But my question is, are they points where if you've beaten a level and you've done it one way that you can just go through the portal and go straight to the new path, final boss or something, like after you've already discovered it? You know, really, there's not much, you know, about it that anybody's said yet. You know, other than all that, there's still a whole lot of stuff that, Nintendo's been doing with the amiibo. They said that, there's going to be definitely amiibo use in the game. I mean, we've seen what Fox's does, how it gives you the retro R-Wing, literally the SNES model, and the SNES Walker model, too, from Star Fox 2 Returns. That's a really cool use of amiibo. I mean, I didn't expect it. I didn't see that coming at all, and when they announced that, I was giggling like a complete idiot. As I'm prone to do during Nintendo Directs when exciting things happen. And so when the SNES models were shown off for the first time, I was like, that's really freaking cool. And then I watched like people with gameplay of it, and I didn't know this until then. The music changes, attack animations change. It's awesome. Your death animation even changes, and that's just so cool. And my real question now is, are there other retro-styled vehicles? Because, well, the Landmaster and the Gyrocopter were not shown off, or sorry, the Gyro Wing, were not shown off, in the SNES. Does the Fox Amiibo give them an SNES style? Could it possibly revert the Landmaster to the N64 textures and models, basically? Could, like, what are they doing with that? And other than the Fox Amiibo's uses, I'm excited to see what other Amiibos do. What does Falco's do? From Super Smash Brothers. I think they mentioned that they're releasing a Star Fox Amiibo line at some point, maybe? I don't know if I'm right about that or not. But if they do, I feel like they would also add unique things to the to the game. But honestly, I think that one of the things I kind of want is unique R-Wings and things like that themed around other games. Like, I don't know, if you scan like a Link Amiibo or something, you get like a Loft Wing from Skyward Sword, like for no reason, but that would be cool. Or if you scanned Samus, you would use her gunship. There's cool different things that they could do with Amiibos from other titles as well. And beyond that, they might just give you like weapons or power-ups randomly or specifically. I mean, with Amiibo, there's a whole range of possibilities of, what you can do to make the games unique. And you can do a lot with Amiibo. And, I'm really excited to see what they do with Amiibo in Star Fox Zero. When it comes to Star Fox Zero, there's so much stuff. I mean, this is one of the longest hype trains yet, because there's just so much in this game. And it's cheaper than a normal Wii U title. And that's really cool. Honestly, I'm definitely planning on getting it. It comes out April 22nd this year. Which is cool, because that's the 5-year anniversary of when I got my first 3DS. Literally, it is. I got my first 3DS April 22nd, 2011. So, April 22nd, 2016, coming up. That's going to be the 5-year anniversary of that. I'm probably not going to have Star Fox Zero right away, but I definitely want to get my hands on it as soon as possible. Because, Star Fox Zero, it takes like a franchise from Nintendo that kind of hasn't had much going for it for a while. I mean, there was no title at all for it on the Wii. I mean, that was kind of sad. I'm hoping that, other games like Star Fox and stuff that kind of haven't been touched on for a while start getting developed again, and that's kind of one of the things I'm hoping for, because, I mean, Star Fox Zero is awesome, but, I mean, it kind of opens the doors for, like, these other franchises that haven't had as much representation, and that they can just kind of show back up, because, I mean, Fox is one of the cooler, characters in Smash Bros. Everybody loved Fox and Melee, but, you need to have main series games. You can't be carried by Smash Bros. As a character. You need to be a character from something, and so it's nice to see Star Fox Zero, kind of reviving these characters that a lot of people know and love, but haven't had the chance to see in a new and updated format in a very long time. I mean, the way Star Fox Zero is looking to be is just kind of like this revival of, you know, a whole lot of people's hopes and dreams about, you know, the series. You know, how people saw the gamepad and said you could use that for like first person mode and things, and Star Fox Zero does that. I mean, using the gyro controls and the screen to aim and shoot is just it's a really cool idea. The multiplayer is lackluster. How, you know, one person controls and the other one aims with the gamepad, but I can still see it being fun. And, you know, I mean, Star Fox Zero has really taken, you know, all these concepts from Star Fox's past and kind of modernized a lot of them, while also not modernizing some of them, which makes the game feel kind of like this strange, like half, you know, remake, half, you know, new title. And that's really kind of an interesting thing, how it's like, there's still high scores, there's, you know, collectibles and stuff. It's not like all of the stuff you do in game saves forever. Like you don't, you know, it's not open world. And that's kind of an interesting way that they've kind of kept that nostalgic feel about the game. And, you know, that really helps to build the hype about it. So, you know, guys, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. You know, I'm excited for the game. I hope you guys are excited for the game. I mean, it's great. It's Miyamoto at work. You know, reviving the series that he made, and that's really nice. So, thanks for watching, Ling. I hope you guys love Disc. What are your thoughts on the new intro that I made literally the day I'm recording this? It's awesome, right? I know it is, because I spent like an hour and a half on it. Alright, see you guys. If you liked this video and would like to see more, please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Google+, where we post behind the scenes things, funny pictures, and more. We hope to see you there.